Welcome to Sunday Night Spaces with AltJake and George, live on YouTube.
Hello, everybody. My name's George. It's Sunday Night Spaces for March 22nd, 2026.
Good Lord.
The guide to all the excitement that happens on Sunday Night Spaces is AltJake.
Thank you, my friend. Happy to be here. Hello, everybody. It should be a fun time. Yeah, no, when you say the numbers out loud, like, because tomorrow is my wife's actual birthday, it's just like, man, I mean, it's basically April, but
actual birthday as opposed to fake birthday.
Well, no, because we like celebrated this week.
Like,
women's
birthdays are about a week. I know.
Well, my wife's not that much. It's just we went out to a nice little thing on Saturday night together, and then we went with the family brunch today. And it's like we do that as the weekend, and then I mean we're just hang at home tomorrow. She could stay out for work, but we have no plans.
That kind of works.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. But the cool part about today is we are not alone. So I'm going to bring in our guest for this one here.
Yeah, from SC Maniacs, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Bottlez.
What's going on, George and Jake? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I don't know if you know about me. I had oral surgery earlier in the week, and so I was kind of out of it for a couple of days. But like today is like the first real day. Like there's still stitches in there, but like they're not bothering me as much. I like can like talk and move, and I ate today without being like, oh god. So I'm in a great mood. That's bottom line.
Fantastic.
How are you?
Not bad. Just I was doing some yard work today in the beautiful Florida weather. And checking out the latest news.
Are you guys getting close to? Is there like any hurricane issues? That's all I ever worry about with those areas.
we get that around October.
Okay, I knew it was some places. Yeah, no, we're. You said beautiful weather. I'm like that's what it should be. I should be from beautiful Phoenix, Arizona right now, but we're already starting to feel like the beginnings of summer. And anybody who like me as a native we're scared. The natives are restless. Like if we're like, oh no, it can't be this hot this early. What's that? What does that mean for July? Oh God.
Did you see the video on Twitter of the head of the EPA came out and announced that they were actually seeding the clouds with, I believe, sulfur dioxide, the previous administrations. The contrails you would see in the sky.
Oh God.
They were actually screwing with the weather.
It's not the airplanes flying. No,
right? Oh, shoot. I didn't even know this already. Shoot, we got you and Cubia already coming in with this. I was just about to say, super chats are open. You can kind of help us guide the Sunday conversations as we go along. You got a couple.
If you just give a super chat, you're going to be in this contest just for the record.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then bam, we've got you and Cumia. I need a devil's kiss. I know I'm not alone. What a great first comment. Because I mean, my face still hurts a bit, so probably not just yet. But I mean, if given the offer, I probably wouldn't say no. Would. Sorry, what was that going on? What's up, guys? And then it looks like we've got another one coming in already, and I got this here. Regina Sharp for $5. If we pool our money, I bet we can get you in a devil's kiss. ... From John Moxley. Come on, everyone, let's go cash him. Yeah, I love it. We'll set him up with one.
If not Moxley, then Marina Shafir.
Oh God, I don't know if that'd be worse. I mean, given the option, can I pass? Do I have these are my only
Shafir's got something.
Yeah, no, I know. I just with her makeup, and like obviously we all just go back to that "you don't know me" promo, and then I've always admitted this, unless you're like an island thing, the barefoot stuff just doesn't work for me. And like, I know she's like a trained MMA and she's got him taped up or whatever, but why didn't Toni Storm just run up and put her heel on her toes every single time? You know,
usually enough, it works for me. I don't know.
Yeah, why. I get it. I we all got our foibles and our pet peeves, and like the only ones that worked for me was like Umaga. Like, okay, that I buy that shit. And then like when Solo was doing it, it was fine at the beginning, but I remember that first time he came out in like actual boots and kick pads and stuff, and I'm like, that's a better professional wrestler look to me. Now, I mean. This is why we do this show, because it's a roundtable. Everybody can have a different opinion, but that's just me. I don't know. I don't know why the barefoot, because I guess I've stubbed my toes enough because I'm a giant fucking klutz. I'm like, that really hurts. Not for super long, but like long enough to like be able to pull off your finish is my point, I think.
You know, Rusev, when he started in NXT, he was a barefoot wrestler.
Yes.
And then he broke his foot, and he said, "That's enough for me. I'm going right to the boots."
That'll do it. That'll do it.
I was gonna say, I'm like, yeah, just I knew he had changed because of something, because I heard an interview with him where he said that recently. I didn't realize it was because he broke his actual foot. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, before Johnny gets to his inside track news that we have, since you mentioned her name, I'm going to bring this up now. Toni Storm.
Sure.
Okay, so we get the report that Toni Storm is out for the year of 2026.
Wait, what?
Yes.
No, I saw that, but like,
okay, let me finish my problem. My problem with all this.
Yeah, I get it.
The decision was before Dynamite was going on, like 10 minutes before, they decided not to put Toni Storm on. And then all of a sudden she's out for 2026. I think she might be hurt. Maybe I'm guessing all the way through this, maybe a concussion or something, but there's no way she's out for the whole year. AEW has never announced a person out for a year like that ever.
Well, let's see. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's a good 9 months, George.
Oh,
but why would they? If it was
did
really
Juice
bad,
have the juice? Sorry, I had to.
If it was that bad, why would they have waited 10 minutes before Dynamite to make the decision not to have her on?
I don't think he's saying it was that bad. I think he was saying she was knocked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought Bottles was referring to. That was my.
I'm a stupid fuck. I'm sorry.
That's why. This is why we're a team. We're all here together. No, that's why
I didn't put that in my brain. But yeah,
that's why
okay,
I made the
total
juice.
sense.
Is the juice had the juice? That was the joke. Yeah, I mean, Juice Robinson's her husband.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
I hadn't thought of that at all until Bottles started counting the months. I mean, this motherfucker's about to
okay,
end
but
9.
still,
yeah, no, but still,
why she's if she is indeed pregnant, why would you wait 10 minutes before?
Well, and here's the thing. Like, let's just say she took a pregnancy test 10 minutes before and went positive. Like, okay, great. How about you just roll with that and kind of just be happy with that? So, like, because it's going to come out eventually if she is, right? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, oh, we'll do this storyline. Who killed Toni Storm? I mean, obviously this has RJ City written all over it. Right. Well, however the storyline is going to play out with Luther and his terrible acting, he's going to be great. He's got more acting to do, like that they can record. So you don't have to be live, and he's got another paycheck for another year. That guy, man, stealing money. Wish I could steal that.
You don't see that much of Luther anymore.
No, it was only every now and then. No, the only reason I was thinking of it was in that 15-second thing that they cut to on Dynamite. He was at the door, like, "Oh my god, right. Oh my god." Right. Yeah, honestly, you reminded me of Black Bart in Blazing Saddles when he's got the pew pew to his face and he's like, "Do what he say, do what he say." He's crazy. He'll do it. He was the do what he say like that. That's all I saw. I knew that'd get a pop from it.
That's a movie that you just can't.
Oh gosh, no!
You cannot put that on regular television.
Oh no, dog! Oh
no! And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's the movie Blazing Saddles. The easiest way to get introduced to it is there's a new Mel Brooks documentary at HBO Max right now. It's a 2-parter. I think each episode's like 90 minutes or 2 hours. As someone who has always said, who would you want to do, dead or alive, have dinner with? My answer has always been like Mel Brooks from like the early, anytime, honestly. But he's my ultimate idol. Like, I love his comedy and just the way he is. But Blazing Saddles is a hard no you couldn't have today.
The best way to watch the movie is just
and
be ready for stuff you're not expecting. That's never seen it.
Right. Well, I guess, but I mean, I'm just thinking like if you're younger with modern eyes and you might be offended, you know what I mean? I don't know. And also I'm trying to put over the documentary because I loved it.
Prepare to be offended. That's the way the movie is. I mean,
yeah, but it's for the right reason. But I'm saying if you knew the right reasons behind it is all my and the documentaries don't spoil that much. They show here and there, but so since we just brought it up and we always kind of BS at the beginning, I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I first saw Blazing Saddles. This is a funny story. My mom, class woman, like absolute saint. So I don't know why I'm telling this, but it's fine. I went to my one prom in my life when I was in high school. It was my junior year of high school. And I got dumped by the girl I took to the prom who'd been my girlfriend at the after party. And so I came home really upset, right? Like as upset as a 16-year-old kid can be. My mom's cure was comfort junk food and Blazing Saddles for the first time. So that's anytime I think of it, I'm like, oh, my mom was great, or is great. She's still around. and when it gets to the scene, like I was literally on our living room floor crying, laughing so hard. I was dying. And by the end of the movie, I'd forgotten about the girl and was, moving forward. Just thought that'd be a fun little insight. No, am I just me? Am I by myself here?
I thought you were going to keep on going.
No, that was it. We brought up Blazing Saddles, and it's a great movie, and I figured that's a funny 5-minute story about how Jake was a fat kid in high school. So
a long time ago, I heard when Gilbert Gottfried was alive, he had a podcast called The Amazing Colossal Podcast, which covered everything about old Hollywood. He would have guests on, and he had one of the original writers from Blazing Saddles. Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was gonna be Cleavon Little's.
Right. He actually helped pick Cleavon Little for the part.
Because he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it.
Let Johnny finish.
I'm sorry.
He didn't want to do it, and he said, "I'll just help write the script." So for 5 weeks, he sat there with 4 Jewish guys, and they laughed about it because they said, "We're going to make you an honorary Jew." So they worked from for like 9 to 1, and Richard would go to lunch and never come back.
Yeah.
He was there for 5 weeks. He was there, and the last day he was there, they said that the maid's going to come in while you guys are here and just straighten up. He came in dressed in a black and white maid's outfit. And vacuumed and dusted people off with the feather duster and all that stuff. They laughed their asses off when they saw it because it was ridiculous. But he was high as a kite. They said the entire time.
Yeah, because there was a point where Mel wanted him to, and they were going to try to, and they couldn't insure him. And there's because of that part right there. Yeah. Oh no, that's great. So I heard there was some breaking news. Do you want to get into that now, or are we? I don't know.
Let me before he goes. My last AEW thing was before we get. I had 2 AEW things, so I might as well do them both at the top.
Yeah, let's get the shit out the way early. Yeah.
Dynamite rating was 730 for the week, which is a huge increase. And I stick to my theory because I did some background research. I looked at the ratings prior to the Death Riders starting, and they were pretty much between 650 and 750. And then when the Death Riders kicked in, they dropped down to the low 6s and stayed around there, the high 5s. Now they're back up. Death Riders have kind of pushed out to the side. Yeah. So I'm sticking to my theory that the people that left are coming back.
Are the same people that have always been around. Right. Yes. That have probably even paid a little bit of attention here and there on whatever, so they know the storylines of what's going on. And that's how they came back.
Yeah. They didn't like the Death Riders crap at all.
No. I mean, that's why they were it was an easy pun, but they were the death ratings because you saw it happen. When AEW fans are revolting on something, it's bad. It's not like it's not like it's WWE fans under Vince who just were mad. No, they really want to like the product. Like George and I try to find something we can say positive about the show when we review it on Thursdays, right here at 9:30 Eastern on the AltJakeTakesOn channels on Thursday nights. But it's hard, man. Poor Dis had to do it this past week to fill in for me, and it was just I tried to find something I liked about every segment. One of them was the lighting was good.
The lighting was good.
Right?
You watched the show, Johnny. It's not easy. I mean,
how horrible are these announcers? I mean, the announcers are there.
This is great, man. This match is great, man.
They're there. How can a man of his size do that move?
The amount of times that Shivani, who's been in the business for over 40 years, saying something that he's never seen something like this before is beyond obnoxious. And then Danielson is giving the most overforced dad wants to be here and loves everything because he's doing that for Tony and a paycheck. And so it comes off completely fake. And then you just have the Micro Machines guy in a mask that doesn't shut up.
What happened to Taz?
Remember when we talked about that? He came back once and I was so excited. And you even said, I have a feeling he'll only be around once a month. I would take, where's my once a month, George?
Once every 6 months, Jesus.
Right? I'm
he got both knees replaced.
Right. I know.
And he got both shoulders replaced.
Yeah, you still can pop
good.
In.
Hey, Good for
But-
you. Good for him, man. Milk that money, milk that insurance and money from Tony now while you're there, right? Because eventually he'll go back to WWE and probably go into the Hall of Fame with the whatever, But right now he's in the Hall of Fame of milking Tony for surgeries. Go Taz. All right, that's
Well, Danielson said that just the travel. He hates being an announcer because of the travel.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of his neck surgery. Can you imagine what Taz would be going through? The Big Show even said that when he got his hip replaced. I think he's had both hips replaced, the Big Show and the knee.
right.
And he's training right now for an in-ring comeback. Can you believe that?
No.
Oh, I've seen pictures of
I
him.
mean, yeah,
He's lost a lot
Right.
of weight, but
yeah.
still, why do that to yourself?
That's one of those things that you hope it's one of those situations where he's like kind of like an old, like, remember Charles Barkley when he got like tore his Achilles, then came back and played like one round, got a rebound at a point or something, and then went out on his own terms like that. Like, what you wonder if Big Show's like, I want to wrestle like one more good match on my own terms, and then I'm done. Hopefully that's it, and not like we get a run of Captain Insano from Waterboy. That's what I feel like. That's what I fear is going to happen when you say those words.
If they going back to the announcers, if they just got rid of those announcers and hired and brought other people in, it
They
would
have
improve
other
the
people?
program. Great.
The problem is they brought somebody in who was a better option, and Shivani talked all over him. It was like, I'm play-by-play with Sonny, and it was the worst.
He just
Like-
shit all over for that first hour, Jake.
Yeah,
It was
the show-
horrible.
Oh god, the show starts good, and we take notes so we can, because that's the whole point of the Thursday show. For the folks who don't know, is we watch the entire show. I'll fast forward through chunks of matches sometimes if you know it's going to go to a commercial, but like every terribly acted segment, we watch it, we take notes, so you guys don't have to just listen to us laugh about it for 90 minutes. It's much better. But like when the show started, I was like, no Excalibur, yes. And within maybe I had probably 5 notes down because I kind of do them like a line at a time. It was just like, God damn it, Shivani, you're ruining it. It was doing so well. It was doing so well because Riccaboni can do it, but you could tell, because obviously Tony Khan doesn't want any confrontation, that it would, oh, you guys can figure it. You're both play-by-play. Yeah, I love you both. And Shivani's just going to be Shivani and not stop yelling.
Well, if you listen to it at the 9 o'clock hour, Tony dialed it back a little bit and let Ian Riccaboni talk. I think right at the 9 o'clock break, right at the 8:59 break. I think maybe Tony Khan might have said something to him. Like,
maybe
slow your roll. Calm
Yeah.
down.
I was gonna say, by then it was hard for me to pay as much. What I hear from the commentators kind of turns more and more into the Charlie Brown adults as the show goes on. By the end of it, it's just Excalibur. Because my brain can't handle them because they're so bad with it. But I mean, I hope that was, or do you think either Tony Khan got in his ear or did Tony Schiavone fall asleep? He's getting up there in age, man.
No, he's not falling asleep
I'm
anymore.
kidding.
He's
It was-
way too excited to be sleeping.
That's
They
valid.
hit him
That's
with a
valid.
track dart. Is what it was.
Well, I mean, we thought Dave Meltzer was way too excited when he was sitting side, and there's clearly pictures of him asleep on the banner.
Yes.
Although, from what I understand, they did Ring of Honor taping as well, and that was during that. From what I understand, which, I mean, I haven't seen any Ring of Honor, but I feel like it would put me to sleep as well because, oh God.
Did you see that? Did you see that story, Jake and George, about the Ring of Honor having studio tapings?
Yes.
Yes. But I don't know where that was supposed to be.
You don't hear anything about that.
Florida TV studio.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's right by Tony Khan's office. It's
Of
right
course.
across the street from the stadium, the Jacksonville Jaguars. play.
I was kind of thinking it might be like at Daly's place with like a banner or like a tarp over it or something.
Bro, it would look better, bro, if it was at Daly's place. This is
Yeah,
like
this
is like the TBS studio,
right.
With, the original NWA, the Crockett NWA was in.
Logo. Yeah. Okay.
That
I
holds
mean,
like 150 people. That's
yeah.
all it
Yeah.
is.
Right. No. And I know like, NWA recently tried to do that under Billy Corgan. I've heard decent things about it, but you only have so much time to consume so much wrestling. So,
Have you watched that NWA Power? Have you ever watched an episode of that?
I have not. I've heard literally everything. I've heard that it's awesome. I've heard that it's watchable. I've heard it's unwatchable. I've heard it's like, it's not so bad. So I've never really given it a shot because of, well, mostly time. I'm a married man with a job too. So you know what I mean? Yeah, but But I have have you watched any, or was it like hard to watch?
I watched 2 episodes of it.
Okay.
It was available on YouTube at the time. I watched 2 episodes of it. The biggest name they had at the time was EC3. And I mean, he was trying hard, but the rest of it's just like indie-rific. You know what I mean? Fat guys in singlets and out of shape girls wrestling and things like that. But the girls put on the best matches.
Oh, well, I mean, there was chunks and times of NXT where that may have happened too, so I could see that.
This goes back to when Camille was down there. I watched it when Camille was there.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
That was, but no, I'm not surprised. Like I lasted 2 episodes. Most of the people whose opinions I generally agree with and trust, that was the opinion of it. It was like, I mean, it's there, but whatever.
He doesn't have a big budget. I'll put it that way. Not a big budget there, and he's not going to take his own money like he did originally.
Right.
And he lost a ton of money with TNA when he was there.
Yup.
As an investor. So he said, screw this. Good Lord, I got to go on another Smashing Pumpkins tour.
Right. I was just going to say,
Power.
when he's got to do Pumpkins tours to pay for the wrestling, that comes down as an issue. But
hey, before we get to the Chris Hero news with Johnny, why do
I was just about to.
That's real quick, and we'll head over there. Then we'll get to Dennis Condrey in a minute.
See, this is why we're good, because I'm literally got my hand hovering over the.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah. We got D coming in with a hey gang, love y'all, and bottles. Yeah, we figured this would be a good one for you. Do you have us hanging out together? Thank you for as always and hanging out and modding as well. And then whoops. Woo! God, I love that. It never gets old. And then Regina Sharp, Ring of Honor. I'm not sure they really exist. Like it's like, is that like one of those things where like like a character on like a Snuffleupagus where like it doesn't actually exist, like it's not real.
Yes, if you don't look at it, it doesn't exist.
Right. and no one is looking at
case.
It.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
No. No, but you're good. No, that was I was ready for him, George. That was a great test, great time.
Cool.
But yeah,
so Johnny, you want to do your little thing you told us about prior about Chris Hero, and then we'll go into some Dennis Condrey news, and then we'll jump into the week that was.
Well, we got to go and unpack the Ricochet thing again. We all know about the story about the Ricochet and the lady with the MS, blah 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 blah. And he was told, supposedly he was told, this is what the dirt sheets were floating. He was Tony Khan got wind of it from someone in the organization who told the legal department of AEW, which Tony's very litigious. Right. He told his team of lawyers to go talk to Ricochet. They contacted Ricochet and said, "You need to delete that tweet and you need to apologize to her now."
Mm-hmm.
And he did so. Now the Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp say, "Oh, well, illegal didn't get involved. Tony ain't involved. Other people who work for the company told him about that." They're floating that Chris Hero, who is an agent backstage for AEW.
Yep.
Famously, he's the one who broke up the Jungle Boy CM Punk debacle at the London show, where Punk crashed backwards into Tony Khan's monitor, where he feared for his life. Chris Hero was the guy who contacted Ricochet and said, "Dude, I think you better, they're talking about shit canning you. I think you better go ahead and get rid of that tweet. It's not good, not a good look at all." So Chris Hero is supposed to be the savior of this woman with the MS.
Okay.
That's the rumor that they're floating right now. Who really knows? But you have to just read between the lines. And I would think that the legal department story holds the most weight.
So I'm gonna credit George here with it because I was out of it, like I said, for this week, but I went back and watched Toonie Talk Wrestling on Tuesday of the Tuesday night show, 5:00 or 8:00 Eastern every Tuesday, and George filled in for me. And when that news kind of broke, and when the apology was ready, it was like, yeah, that was written by a lawyer, and it was absolutely like when you see it, it's like I'm sure it was. It feels like somebody. I think the in touch with legal was that. To put Ricochet in touch with them of here's your printed statement. You are going to take this without making any additions and tweet that right now. You know what I mean? It was way too legalese and specific type of speak, in that sense.
You're right about that.
Yeah, no,
you guys, but I'm thinking that Chris Hero might be the guy who told Tony, who told the lawyers, and then he said, "You talk to him, you go tell him."
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. You're gonna do that. We're all gonna, and I mean. I don't know a
what they did
ton
with-
about Chris Hero, but I've only ever heard good things about the guy. Like he was who Punk wanted to be in the Roman spot in the Shield, you know, because he's such a good guy, and
Right.
Punk usually associates himself with good people. Like, so it makes sense, in my opinion, on that one. So I don't know how true that is, but I wouldn't be surprised one bit if it was Chris Hero.
Do you know Paul Ellering's daughter, Rachel Ellering?
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, she's in Ring of Honor. She's signed to the company, but they haven't used her in a long time. She's built like Jordan Grace, power lifter.
Okay.
Not really as ripped as Jordan Grace, but she was in NXT for a cup of coffee, and that's his girlfriend. That's Chris Hero's girlfriend.
Okay.
He got her into the AEW Ring of Honor ecosystem, and they were not really doing anything with her because she's a little bit of a roughhouser. She's a
Okay.
little stiff, you know what I mean? She likes to let you know that you're that she's there.
Right.
And they don't
Right.
like that sort of thing. Like Mercedes Martinez. Have you seen that interview that she put out? I
No.
forgot who interviewed her. They said that I'm an old school wrestler, and I'm a little rough and ready out there. I'm like it was back in the old days. And some of those girls who dress like models, they didn't want to wrestle me. So she spent 2 years on the shelf, a year and a half to 2 years on the shelf in AEW Ring of Honor. He shuttled her off the Ring of Honor, and nothing really happened with her. And I think the contract is finally up. That's why she's doing, interviews
Right.
about it and all that stuff.
Right.
She's on a retirement tour. She's almost 50.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right,
she's been
yeah.
around a long
Good for her.
time.
Well, speaking of old school guys,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yep.
Dennis Condrey passed at 74, quietly in his own home. From what I was reading, there's other speculations and stuff, but you can listen to Jim Cornette. I'm sure he'll talk about it, and it's none of my business. So I really just want to send out our condolences there.
Yep.
I also wanted to mention the first time that I saw Midnight Express, summer of '81, when we got the cable, and I was watching it, and I'm like, these two guys do not look like wrestlers at all. Loverboy Dennis and Bobby Eaton. And then they get in the ring, and you're like, holy crap, was I wrong?
Right. And this is where that like phrase, when people say, oh, you got to give them your flowers, and people look at it like giving flowers to your wife. No, what Dennis Condrey is getting now is his flowers. Because if you look at, every time I've scrolled X in the past like 40, 30, 24, 36 hours there's been people reposting like, oh my God, have you seen this clip of his? I didn't realize he was this good. And it's like, that's why like the phrase was built and it's been overused and killed to death, but it's good to see him get it. Cause like, that was the thing about him. Yeah. He never had the look, and like the Loverboy thing was kind of one of those heel getting moves in the 80s. And it made so much sense, but there was no crap in it. There was no air in any of those spots. And, when Cornette does talk about it, like when, I feel like the Bobby Eaton loss probably hit him harder because it seemed like they were closer, as like they were brothers and Dennis was dad. Is kind of what it seemed
Dennis,
like.
Dennis is the founder, though, so I think he might be his.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Oh no, yeah. I just mean like I remember that Bobby Eaton episode being like, I had to like take it in shifts. You know what I mean? Like I had to take that one in chunks. It was long, and it was but it was. I mean, it's an amazing tribute to a good friend. But I mean. Yeah, I was obviously not watching wrestling for a lot of his career, but once, I mean, I could rent tapes since I started to go back, but the moment like YouTube became a thing, that was my entry into YouTube. Was like, wait, there's old school wrestling on there? Oh, sold. Yeah, let's go into that. Yeah.
Did you Johnny, your thoughts?
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton as a tag team. Everything they did was snug. Everything they did looked like they were really beating the tar out of the other two individuals in the ring. It was fantastic. And he didn't really say much. That's why they had a mouthpiece. Neither one of those two guys were good promos.
No,
and that's why they needed Jim Cornette, but they were workhorses. They were technicians in the ring.
Yeah.
And you really don't have that nowadays.
No,
not
the way
not
they
like
were working.
That.
They were working that schedule. Like, holy crap. That's why he just was gone.
Right. Yeah, and they're working, and we're calling everything in the ring essentially too, you know, and
Yeah,
and
nobody's sitting there saying, oh, we're going to do this. You go up on the top turnbuckle and come
right.
off
Yeah,
with a sledge handle.
And he's gonna flip over the top rope and like do a leg drop on you to add it to like where it wouldn't actually hurt anything because you're landing at the same exact time, but it'll look really cool. Yeah, they didn't care much about that. It's funny you say that about the promo because I've seen a couple of videos of him cutting promos, and obviously people have been posting the best ones they can, and you know they're passable, but there's a couple of them when he can keep it short and has something to say. Like, did you see the one where he was talking when he was talking about Cornette's mama? And he's like, yeah, she was looking for 2 wrestlers in the back, but not to manage you, boy, and walks off. And it was like, oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was one of those guys where, yeah, if he could keep it short and intense, it was great. Like, you know, but that's why you had managers, especially back then. You needed it. And George will test this. I have always been on the bring back more managers train. I support that always.
Oh, you definitely need that now.
Right.
I mean, you got some people like, look at Jay Cargill. She needs a manager in a worse way. Because
Right?
some of those promos that she puts out are they're excruciating.
They're getting better,
sometimes.
but not as good as they should be. I get you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I love that how it can get involved outside the ring. Like, I mean, you see it a bit here with like people bringing out their partners, like with JD and Dom with the hammer. And then obviously Don Callis managing every, 5/6 of the heels in AEW or under the Callis family name, you know.
You mentioned
you need-
Callis.
yeah.
You mentioned Callis. I don't know how you guys feel about Callis, but he's the mouthpiece in the backstage segments and on top of the ramp. But when they come to the ring to wrestle, he's on commentary.
Yeah.
He's not at the ring like
like
throwing
even
chairs
Heyman
in
does that.
or handing somebody a foreign object or grabbing an ankle. He's not doing any of that. He's
Right.
on commentary.
Yeah. And everything you just mentioned is the stuff I love about managers. Like I remember like seeing Cornette stuff, like hating it initially as a kid, but you grow because you love what they're. No, I just turn around. I wouldn't do nothing. What you talking about? You know what I mean? Like I love that kind of stuff. And I've said it on the show before because I grew up obviously loving wrestling, but I'm 5'10" and I was a fat kid, a fat person, honestly, until 2012 when I made a decision to lose the weight, and I've kept it off. But
good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's pretty much like the proudest thing I've ever done because I was teetering close to 300 and I got under 2. Now I'm like 5'10" ish. Like I'm probably just under 5'10". I'm not that tall. No, I had man boobs. No, I went to. Quick aside, I went to Coachella with some friends, and by the 3rd day, I was huffing and puffing and dying. And in all the pictures, I had boobs, and I was like, "This is not right." And I wanted to go back the next year, and literally, I have a picture of me side by side, boobs, no boobs. I made a life decision. I stopped drinking like dark colas and started, walking places and stuff. Like I made it it was one of those things where it wasn't a diet; it was a lifestyle change, and that's how I kept it off.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well.
I always say that I'm going to do that, but then again, Papa John's comes out with a brand new flavor, and I'm thinking, God damn it.
Well, that's why I'm back over too. I'm also married now, so it's again not as important with that one.
People don't realize it. The kids out there don't realize being married will just completely destroy you.
But my point was that I always knew that I loved wrestling, but I would never could vision myself as a wrestler. I wasn't one of these 5'10" fat slobs that would think, I can wear a singlet, it'll be cool. So my dream growing up was always to be a manager. You know what I mean? So I love managers, man. Like that's one of my favorite things. And so, unlike the kids now where it's like, I'm gonna be a wrestler. My name's Speedball Mike Bailey. Shut up.
Back in the WWF. Those managers back in the day, even the worst ones like Johnny Valiant, he would always come to the ring with a cigar, and he would make you think it's lit, but it's not lit. He would, like, if a guy's like hanging over the bottom rope, the opponent for his guy, he would take the cigar and jam it in the guy's eye, so the guy would have the ashes all in his eye and look like he tried to burn him. The guy would scream and everything, bloody murder. Just little things like that, and everybody's booing and throwing stuff at Johnny Valiant and all that. It was great. Even the worst managers were good.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's kind of like, I don't know, like fried chicken. Even the worst fried chicken is usually decent as long as it's cooked all the way through. But it's like it's you nailed it too. For one thing I always think about, it's the little things. Like I always say about how that's one of the biggest problems they end up like they can't do a lot of the stuff, but they can't do the little things. And like if you can't do the little things right, everything else just kind of falls apart. It's usually like that one little thing that really kind of puts it together. And that's what I love about watching NXT is when you see people who had nothing put together, and then all of a sudden, you have a Trick Williams. Like it took him a few years and work and coaching, but now he's polished and ready to go. And
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild the way that worked out for that guy? They had to get him away from Carmelo Hayes. And as soon as they separated the two guys, he just like, where did this come from? You would say every week on NXT, right?
Yeah,
just amazing.
Hey, we're at 25 likes for a live show.
Heck yeah,
starting. You want to hit the super sticker and then the other super chat?
Oh, that's what that is.
Super sticker.
It only just shows. Okay, so that's a super sticker. All right, well, we'll give it with one of these. Woo! Okay, so that I'm assuming is then this, because all I saw was the $10, and I'm like, thank you so much, sassy girl. 74. That's amazing, but I didn't know. All right, cool. So I'm sure
if that guy wasn't an alcoholic, a raging alcoholic, he would be a great manager in WWE. Ric Flair.
Oh yeah, no, they could have done so much great stuff with him and Charlotte if he could just stay off the kamikazes, but unfortunately, So, and then we got one more here.
Oh yeah.
Another $5. Thank you from Luigi Tron 51. Ricochet should be the last person to talk smack online since a video leaked of him, giving himself the old oil change. Yeah, no, like I've always thought that like that can't be your character when we have literal video evidence. It's like, it's one of those things where like if you're, I don't know, like if you're in the, waste management business, you're not caught until you're on video. You know what I mean? Like I didn't do nothing. You got me. I didn't do nothing. Oh, you got me in video. I did something. Like deny. But when it's on video, bro, that's your life.
He bought the Ronco home prostate exam check.
Oh man, that's one of those things. Like no matter, even if you take it, even if you try to remove it, the internet is forever, my friend. Someone has downloaded it. Someone has screenshot. You see that with people with tweets where they like to post them and delete them. Somebody got that screenshot, dude. I'm sorry to say, but somebody got that screenshot.
Did you guys know there's a thing called the Wayback Machine on the internet?
I mean, I've not specifically.
Actually, it's a thing called the Wayback Machine where you can go back and search for deleted, supposedly deleted internet pages that are out there.
Ooh, and that's where
who said that? Was that George who said that?
No, I was me. I was laughing.
Okay.
No, I was me laughing because I was laughing. And I'm like, well, I think that's funny because I'm like, I could go back on my tweets, like, because I was just laughing because the X account that is now the AltJakeTakesOn X account, I just converted my personal account to it. Like I didn't, because I already started building a following, and I didn't plan this. I fell into it by helping Phil out for a while, and he's like, "Do your own show, man. You need to. You're good at this." And he helped me get started. And it's like, I'm like, do I really want to build a brand new account and like start with 0 followers? Because I wasn't really on Twitter that much. I would just kind of look at it like, I'm just converting over. So, you guys, and that's safe. You go back and look. I don't have any there. You won't see any oil changes or your hard R's or anything on mine. I'm good.
You guys ought to, you have a great show. I do listen to it. I subscribe to it.
Thank you so much.
When I'm driving around during the day, I'll click on YouTube and listen to you guys and all that. And you ever think about getting cameras and just having your faces up there? And
we have cameras.
Yeah. So what I've been
faces up there.
Because here's
my face there. See, there I am.
There you are.
See, well, here's the thing. So back to the being married thing. My name also comes from my last name. It starts with the 3 letters ALT, and it's a very uncommon name. And I just didn't want the sickos coming after my wife until this was actually making money. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers and are actually like seeing some income from this, I will. I have no problem with it. I can't have them going after my wife, dude. She's my world. Like, you know what I mean? And they would.
Nobody's gonna go after your wife.
They've called people's jobs, dude. I don't know. I do have a camera as well, but for her, I stay off of that for now because of
What do you guys have? 500 subscribers?
Yeah, 518, 519. So we're getting there. Like, and
you're
we've only been
monetized.
doing
You're
this
getting
a
you're getting the
Yep.
super
Oh, yeah.
chats now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, and then
Speaking of which,
yeah, I was just gonna and but when we get the 1,000, that's gonna be the big party. But yeah, let me give one of this.
yeah, if you're super chatting at all today, you're entering into this contest just so you guys know what's going on. I'm throwing everybody in, so have at it.
George is feeling friendly. Nice. Regina Sharp with another $10. Thank you so much. People have to choose to save it to people have to choose to save it to the Wayback Machine. And people can have stuff taken down from the Wayback Machine as well, but there's so much ancient net out there. Okay. So it's probably more for like fun. Like if you wanted to see like, I don't know, your old MySpace page or like your old GeoCities, maybe, or like, I can see that. It was fun. I had heard the phrase Wayback Machine before, but not in that phrase. Thank you very, very much for the super chats. We appreciate every single one. Holy George is a robot. Yeah. No. Yeah, no, the face. I also, with where I'm set up, because my wife and I live in a pretty small condo, what's behind me is our back like screen door, and we need better curtains or there'd be weird light issues too. But it's on the map, it's on the radar. It will happen because obviously George and I aren't stopping. You know, we've been doing this for over a year now, and all we've ever done is add more stuff to our plates. So we want to talk about the other dentist situation.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. It's going on.
I couldn't believe when I saw this. I really couldn't.
Absolutely.
Why exactly? Why?
Celebrity wing, and they love a name in that. Rodman also is like a Vegas guy. Like this, I've never cared about who gets into the celebrity wing at all. Like people are like, oh my God, Drew Carey's in there, but this wrestler in it. I'm like, that's apples and zebras, dude. That's not the same thing. It's just not to me. And also, it's not a real Hall of Fame anyway. There's no ballots or anything. But I mean, this actually made at least some wrestling sense because of, I know he wasn't with the NWO long, but like when it was the Bulls and the Jazz and him and Malone, like that was literally like tapping into the pulse of America. I always thought that was some of the coolest stuff the NWO did.
He did nothing but show up with a cigar, always drunk out of his mind. Walked around with Hogan, was on TV for 2 minutes, and stomped on Malone once in a while. That was it.
I didn't say it was though. Yeah, exactly. That's all. I mean, it got to Lena. I didn't say it was all for me. I'm just thinking like that's like a pulse into the mainstream being in Vegas. I don't know. I just figured when I saw it happen, I'm like, well, we should at least.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
They should have. I don't know why. You know, she did an interview about a month ago. Cyndi Lauper saying,
"Oh, that's the one."
Someone asked her if they asked you to be in the Hall of Wrestling. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is, old head. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
They asked her if they asked you to be in the Hall of Fame, would you go? She goes, absolutely. Absolutely. And she's in her 70s, so she ain't getting much younger.
I'd heard that
Robin's
before.
Not either.
Yeah, and I always assumed there was like some sort of Vince heat. I was always I've been surprised every year about that Cyndi isn't now in the celebrity wing.
She's always been good with WWE too.
I thought so
bad
too.
Relationship, nothing. Yeah. Never been a bad word spoke. Nothing.
Do you wonder if maybe they think she's already in, and she was like, she had one of those speeches in the banquet halls they used to have him in back in there.
You would have thought she would have been in the late 80s.
If you would have had me guess, I would have thought she would have been like the first inductee into the celebrity wing, is where I would have put. You know what I mean? For what? Because again, like we said about with Rodman, tapping into the zeitgeist, and that's exactly what she was doing in, what was that, 84? You know, like she's got the biggest album, she's one of the biggest stars, and to cross over. And same with Rodman, while he was, he was on one of the best teams ever and a star of the team, and he was writing books and dating Madonna and all that stuff. So he was a big popular name.
But with Cyndi Lauper, that whole thing.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Crazy. You're watching MTV, which I was.
Of course.
It was just nuts. It
was.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's why I've always thought she should be in. But when people are like, why is this happening and not a specific wrestler? I've always kind of been like, well, that's not the same thing. Because, and I just hope they don't give him too long of a live mic to speak. That was my one my one thought when I first saw this. It was like,
I was going to induct him, Kim Jong-un.
No. That was well done, my friend. Oh my God.
That'd be awesome.
Right. I thought you were gonna. I thought maybe Karl Malone, maybe DDP. No, that was what an answer. What an answer. That was a good one, George. I like that.
Jake, do you think that they never asked her to be in the Hall of Fame because they figured she's a big star, she wouldn't do it?
I don't. Maybe, but like, I feel like there would have been a point where her star had faded a bit. I mean, like, I'm just thinking, like, you know. In the early 2000s when they started,
you mentioned that her star maybe faded. You just mentioned something because in the 90s she kind of went away for a while because she had some. I can't remember what she had, but she had something.
She has something because I've seen her on commercials for medicine,
and then
for it.
She came out of it and went on tour and stuff. Then she came back. So then
she had shingles or eczema or something like that.
I don't know. I just
psoriasis.
Know that, something like
psoriasis. Yes.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, no, I just remember seeing the commercial. Like, that's it. That is Cyndi Lauper. Holy shit. Oh, look at this. And speaking of. Oh, yeah. We've got another super chat. Right there it is. From Regina again. Thank you so much. $5. She was tight with Captain Lou. Did an Albano piss off Vince. That might be collateral. And that's what I was thinking. There had to be some heat, but it would have been with Vince. It was so he's gone. So,
but Captain Lou's in.
Well, I think Captain Lou was anybody who was in like the inner circle when Vince was a kid and like when he bought it. I think he was kind of stuck with those people.
He would have. Captain Lou deserves to be in regardless.
Captain Lou is in the Smirnoff Hall of Fame.
What a line!
He's also in the Rubber Band Hall of Fame.
What a line! Yeah, the Smirnoff Hall of Fame.
That was his drink of choice. Vodka.
I know.
He was plastered by 11 a.m. So you show up at the arena and he would tell everybody what to do.
The only guy in the world that was able to get away with calling Vince Vinny Jr.
Yes. And Vinny. That's the thing, he hated Vinny and Jr. Vinny Jr.
I don't know how he left that company and got a job as Super Mario. Kids television. Remember that?
Yes.
I think it was Fox.
Yeah. No, I don't know how he got a job doing anything ever. Period. But I mean, we all know those people. There's a couple people that just float through life, I mean, and just good shit happens to them. And you're over here busting your ass, can't get a raise for 3 years from your job of 10. And they're like, oh, yeah, I was made like, executive CEO something or other. And they just gave me a big old check. It was cool. And then I left. You're like, what the fuck?
And the one guy dressed like a gypsy with rubber bands sticking in his face with a half gallon of Smirnoff in his hand, sipping on it, falls ass backwards into money and great jobs. How's he doing?
I don't know. No, he's like exactly. He was Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny before Frank Reynolds, man. But it worked. I don't know. Oh God.
So let's jump into the WWE week here. We can review WWE before we're here till fucking midnight.
Right. I've got pictures and stuff. We can cover topics as we want to, but I had to. Heyman, disheveled Heyman is always a top for me. Like he really leans into it. Like when I'm sure that with the makeup with it and how he rub like with his eyes and stuff. I love a disheveled Paul Heyman, and this was a fun way of going about it to where he came out looking like, and then went into Brock mode, and you had this giant beast running around, hitting. When the hooded people came into this, I'm like, oh, this is the time Brock's gonna kill them all because there were so many of them, and little ones were around. I'm like, and he did. This was evil. The way he was throwing people and stuff. This was
it wasn't very nice.
It was fun. It was not. I was fun. I was enjoying it. I was going, whoa.
One of those kids tweeted, man, I just got thrown around the ring by Brock Lesnar.
Oh, dumbass.
Just a name on every
song. It's awesome. It's like getting stunned by Steve Austin. It's like getting kicked on Michael.
Yeah.
It's an honor. Sure.
Yeah, it absolutely is. No, I 100%. It's just I feel like or tweet it from and like set it up where you look like you're in a hospital bed or something maybe, and like it's cool. I don't know. I feel like you're tweeting it like after Mania, letting people know. I still hold the kayfabe a bit where I can, but this he wasn't even looking. Like he's just tossing with reckless abandon. You over here. Like, what other profession could Brock have even had if he didn't do wrestling or fighting?
Ranger, like he does.
I guess that's true. He could have been a good farmhand. Bouncer
at a daycare.
I was literally about to say the world's best bouncer was the line that was coming out of my mouth, Johnny. That's so great. Because I thought about it. I used to hang out at a cocktail bar in my 20s that was right around the corner from the place, and the bouncer, his name was Dave, and he was this giant, like 6'6", 6'7", big black dude. And we used to call it the Dave toss, where he would literally grab people and toss. And we set markers of the furthest we'd seen him toss somebody out of the bar. And then Brock would be in that. We got another Brock toss. And then, but the big moment of it, which we all knew was coming because the dirt sheets had to spoil it, but it's the only one that made the most sense. I mean, and the fact
I didn't know it was coming because I don't read the dirt sheets. I did happy to see this.
Yeah, I mean, it's those things that like come across my freaking timeline sometimes, where it's like, or like people like, oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Like, dang it, I didn't want it. All right, fine.
I have stuck to my theory that I'm done jumping on X until I have to say something really quick. Then I jump off. But I didn't know anything about this. Very pleased.
Yeah, no. And honestly, that's the best way to live. Like, yeah, there's a reason why George is usually calmer and happier than Jake. It's sometimes like, damn you, X. No, but this was fun. And like, how Seth Rollins like set it all up as the architect, and then the biggest thing was obviously that Brock let him give him his finish. Do the foot on him. Like Brock
actually put his hand on his foot and told him to put his foot
you can see it. You can see it in the picture. You're right. The thing is, you've heard these stories from people and from like women that like Brock will stay back and watch all the matches and give pointers.
Everything you've heard is wrong.
Yes. Well, I mean,
everything you heard about Brock being a dick, leaving the show, going home back to Saskatoon, it's all wrong.
Yeah.
He sticks around. He teaches people. He's a great dude. People love him.
Well, and again, he's very much like Randy Orton and Shawn Michaels, that they are burdened by some of their past actions, because he did have some really bad, like where he was like flashing girls with his towel and because he was a young idiot. He was a young, big testosterone full idiot. And like Randy Orton, where he was like setting off cherry bombs in a Mexican hotel or whatever. And Shawn Michaels but like, you can grow, you can evolve. Look at these guys now. You know what I mean? Like Randy's got, I think, 5 kids. You know what I mean? Brock's got multiple kids that are doing great athletic things. So he's obviously raising them well. Like, it's people can grow and change. And, that's always been my feeling about it with stuff like that. And this was just awesome to see him give this much to Oba, because I mean, this is making Oba. I also, and I think you said it, George, maybe that you didn't like the fur on Oba, and it's in the WrestleMania graphic, but he hasn't come out with the fur on his arms and legs in a couple of weeks, I've noticed.
Yes, they listen to the show.
Throw us some subscribers, guys. We're just trying to get to 1,000 subs here at WWE if you're hanging out.
Johnny, did you like this? Did you like this segment?
I thought it was fantastic. I like the tear running down Oba's cheek also.
Yes.
When they cut to a tight shot on his face, I thought that was fantastic, where the guy was so overcome with emotion. This guy gets it. He's into it. I think he's 27 years old, 28 years old.
That's insane.
And he looks like he's about 47.
Right.
But Femi does. And he just freaking gets it. I saw a video of him when he was in school, and he was doing the shot put.
Right.
And he was a little beefier around the midsection, but he was still a beast.
Yeah.
This guy is going to make everybody jaws drop at WrestleMania. I guarantee it. Yeah. I think they took the fur things off of him because they said his necklace on Twitter, they said it looked like he had those munchkins, Dunkin' Donut munchkins around his neck.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I just, when I first mentioned it, I just didn't like it because I thought it looked too corny.
Yeah.
I just gonna stick with that because it looked corny, and now it doesn't.
No,
now it looks
and
great.
that's fair, and that's totally fair. And I even said that too. I'm like, that's how that worked. He's the first true NIL talent to make it to the main roster. So and he was the first one to win a title too. It's crazy because if you look at him and Trick, like they're completely different in the senses, but of it where Trick was, he was a football player. And came in and did his thing where he had to learn over time with it and develop this. Oba just like came in with it, but like And Javon's there too. Like they've got these generational talents that are young. Like, Trick's like 31 or 32. Javon's a child, and Oba's 27. Like, and people think that the future isn't safe for wrestling. People are like, oh, wrestling's dying. There's nobody that can hold it. I'm like, I just gave you 3, and there's
people
more.
just went into panic mode because they looked at the roster and they see CM Punk's 47, Randy Orton's 40 something, Cody Rhodes is 40 something. They're all in their 40s, and they're like, we got nobody coming. You got coming, relax.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, and never mind that like Braun Breaker is still there and multiple others with it. But no, this is cool.
Breaker's supposed to be coming to Raw tomorrow night to get evaluated to whether he can come back or not.
Ooh, interesting. Breaker, like, he needs to be back as best he can because he was getting so hot.
There's no reason to rush him at all.
That's no, not to rush him back, but like if he can, even if he can't wrestle at Mania, but he's cleared to like spear Seth, you know what I mean, in Seth's match or whatever with it. But yeah, no, this segment, like this is one of those things where my notes for this were just 10 out of 10. No notes. This was perfect and sets up a great match, and we're all excited for. I also think that we probably are going to get the Americano versus Americano at Mania, and then they're going to, but it'll end in some kind of schmaz, and then they're going to.
All I hear from Johnny is,
they're going to do it in AAA, and the big one will actually be in AAA, I think. But that's this. They're still building towards that, but it's pretty obvious. But this is not for you, Johnny.
Not for me at all.
I get you. No, and honestly, like. Initially until Gable came back, I was like met on it, and it's really more. I want to see. I think it'll be funny how if they do it at Mania, Gable will be the baby face, and then when they run it back at Triple Mania, Kaiser will be the baby face. That's I like it. It just reminds me of Bret Hart, where he was the heel here, and they were cheered so hard in Canada. I don't know, that part of it I like, but yeah. And then
there's certain parts that WWE seems to continually do. They start the shows off fine. They throw you some nuggets in the middle.
Yeah. And
keep you interested in what's going on. Then they end the show with a whoop. Holy crap.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you get the Roman entrance and you get the first part of that promo. And then, there's filler. But what I did like the Liv promo too, where she about like, Finn, I've always been wanting to do this. Because you could always see that was always her goal. And, we keep saying like either Dom or Liv maybe they don't have to turn babyface they're so good at being heels. It's hard for me to see them going. It's hard for me to look at Liv now with how much she's built up and see her going back to a nice character and all, because she's such a good little shit. You know what I mean? Like she's just so good at being such a little bitch. And then more Bloodline. They went back to that. You're right, George. It's just gonna fill in the middle, and then you get.
Yeah, they're starting to give you the sign that they're going to bring back this Bloodline thing. They're starting to.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Then,
Johnny, do you think they should start amping up the Bloodline 2 thing coming back, or what are you thinking here?
Why not? But you have to clarify whether or not the Usos are going to be heels or baby faces. Tomorrow night on Raw, they're taking on Theory and what's his name, Logan Paul.
Yep.
In a non-title match.
Is it non-title?
Okay. Non-title. They're saying that's going to be the Mania match, the Usos versus those guys.
So the Usos got to lose. Oh,
I would think they. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I definitely thought tomorrow night's match was a title match, so that's good to know. No, I mean, I the thing about it is, I always did like the Bloodline segments, like this kind of stuff. They're with their chemistry, it always comes off well. But I did like this. I grabbed the shot because of Roman's line of like, I'm a part-timer, so I could be a full-time dad. Like it's a good line and a good way of looking at it for him. And because I think he's either got 6 kids or he has 5, and the wife's knocked up again. So he's got a lot to handle with it.
I just like it because we're getting a break from Yeet for a while. We're getting a little break from everyone.
Yeah,
it's needed because it got a little pushy there for a while.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that the WWE had to take it away because the fans weren't going to stop live. Even if people don't like him live, we all know how it is. You're in a big crowd, like you're at a concert. You want to sing along, you want to do whatever. And I've been to 2 shows where the Yeet happened, and your arms just like, yeah, you know. So they made the right. They had to do it. That's a good point, George. And then you had the AJ Lee versus Bailey match, which was fine. It was a good match, but AJ Lee, like this was AJ Lee's best match back, but that was 1000% because of Bailey. Like, AJ Lee's fine. She's just wrestles an older style that women had to wrestle back then, and it's, as we've seen, kind of similar with the Bellas. It's not fully transferred over. You can put in the work, but also, you know, you're in your 40s. But this is also Becky could attack. That was that was what I was getting to. Yeah, Becky attacking.
Johnny, you were saying something?
She wrestled the likes of the Bellas, like Jake said. She wrestled
Michelle McCool, probably.
Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
She wrestled both girls in Lay Cool and whoever else was floating around as a diva. It was the Divas Championship. She won,
Candice Michelle. There
Candice
was
Michelle.
I'm trying to remember some more of them who were there that were like, yeah, okay. What was it? Like Eve Torres, maybe?
Torres.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think she wrestled Melina. I think Melina might have been gone by then.
Might have been.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah. But that was that style. That's what they did back then.
Yeah. And when she came up, it was like a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm. That's why she's so over with so many people, especially like people who were young at that age, because it was such an impactful change when she came up. And I do like AJ Lee. It's just that, you know, she's got to work back to get into this modern style that we're at now, because the women can do a hell of a lot more than they used to. But and then you had the Penta and Phoenix, where Penta didn't know who was going to challenge. Fine. You know, that match was fun, but I mean, it was a lucha match, so you knew what you're going to get going in. Penta's not dropping the title before. At this point, it's going to be kind of surprising if anybody drops their title before Mania.
Tomorrow night is supposed to be Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
Yeah, I did see that. So, I mean, I guess it could go back on Dom, but I just kind of assumed Penta would be defending at Mania. But
I think he would. He would. That would be Dom's Mania match right there, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably put Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio and Penta in the ring together, and you would have a great match.
Yeah. See, I was so convinced it was going to be Finn, JD, and Dom in a triple threat, like, you know, but JD still attacked Finn, so I was like, crap, I don't know what's going to happen there. Just this shot of Heyman. This is so. Everything he does, I am always sold on all the time. Paul Heyman for life, man. He needs to be on TV until he can't. I love the guy. I don't know. And
he is losing weight. You can tell a little bit at a time. He is losing some.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think finally someone was like, dude, you got to at least try to eat a little healthier at this age, but please. And then Natty beat the crap out of poor Maxine, but we saw that coming. And then we all learned that Randy Orton has terrible Wi-Fi. I was just trying to get to here. What did you want to say about it?
When is that Natty and Maxine Dupree angle just going to die? Good Lord. Enough.
You gotta keep everybody working. Got 3 hours to burn, 2.5 on Raw, 3 on SmackDown.
Give Ivy Nile a little love. Throw her in there.
Right? Yeah. No, I was just kind of uncle on. Here's the thing. I think that was the match they were supposed to have when Maxine got knocked the fuck out. I think that's what happened. You know what I mean? I'm pretty positive that's what happened, but I'm not 100% sure.
So when we actually get to SmackDown, I know exactly who Randy Orton's talking to, and we'll get there when we get to SmackDown.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
I can't wait to hear this.
Right? I'm like, ooh, that's a good tease. I just like this where, you know, we learned that Randy Orton had terrible Wi-Fi. So that was all the tweets I really saw about this, and that was fine. It was fun. And then more Danhausen being Danhausen.
Oh, I'm going to come around a little bit on this. A little bit. Just a little bit. I like what they're doing with Danhausen a lot, because it's just 30 seconds to a minute. It's not too much.
Yeah.
They give me a funny, I laugh. I do laugh. I think it's funny. And he's out. He's in, does his bit. He's out. I'm not overwhelmed by him. I'm not getting too much of him. He makes me laugh, and I'm perfect segments. I love those. So there you go.
Let's wait till the bell rings and he's in the ring.
The bell's never going to ring. He's never going to wrestle. It can't happen. Once he wrestles, he looks like a twig. You can't do it.
He's going to wrestle. Don't want to see him wrestle, but he's going to wrestle.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Jake went. Where'd Jake go?
We lost Jake.
Okay,
sorry.
I
was sneezing and I didn't want. It's still allergy season here a bit, and I was dying, so I didn't want you guys to. I barely got the button hit before I was like, sorry, my bad. No,
maybe I could see. Like I don't know. He can curse somebody and go in there and they pass out and he covers them, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, I still stick to my originality of Danhausen, where like he will work being part of NXT and maybe wrestling on there a bit, but really being like the liaison and messing around with people in TNA, like doing this stuff.
They're not doing that, dude. They're going full throttle
I know.
here. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I was clearly, I've been wrong about a lot of things. Clearly, this was another one. Like
I was surprised you were wrong too, because I was with you 100%.
Right?
There's no way, but
it made
it
so
works.
much sense. But yeah, exactly. And people. Merch numbers don't lie. What is it, the phrase? Like facts don't care about your feelings. We don't. It might not be for everybody, but it's selling T-shirts apparently.
No, I like it. I've gotten to like it. I've gotten to actually like it. So let's just stop.
Yeah,
there.
you're right.
T-shirts are all Danhausen, I believe.
Right. I mean, hey, that good for him, man. I know he's got a wife and kids, so good for him. But like,
who's he wrestle, Jake? Who's he wrestle?
I don't know.
Grayson Waller.
Okay, yeah, probably after this now. Yeah. So all my answers to what could be good or fun matches are to AAA guys. Like, what was it? The Hamburguesa? That could be cool. Him and Mr.
He's gone, dude. They
is he?
fired him.
Oh, well, shit. All right, so maybe this is where Danhausen going to be. All right.
Yeah. Mr. Iguana and Danhausen's a tag team.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. That was Mr. Iguana was the next person I was going to say. There's stuff they can do. Then that seems like that would work in my head, but they're doing. I did like how Kofi that move that cracked me really.
Yeah, pushed him in front.
He just pushed. He human shielded Waller, and then Waller takes off the shirt. No, the shirt's cursed.
Yeah, because what's good is now the people backstage know the curse, so that kind of.
Well, I mean, there was
because they know what's going on,
right? Yeah. Good point. Yeah. And Dom lost his title, so it is what it is. You had this match here where Becker and Raquel, and it was everything I would expect to be. I think Raquel would be the one to turn babyface out of the group. is the one turning babyface, but here we go. We got a quick super chat here from Kevin for $2. That's an answer. Danhausen can wrestle Tozawa, but why? Like, yeah.
Well,
he can. You're right.
Faces. Yeah. So.
Right. Exactly. And I don't think either. We know they're not turning Danhausen heel. And, I don't think Tozawa can. But Kevin's right, though. When you were like, just physically, like who you haven't wrestled, there's at least someone of it. But I still, stay backstage
George,
for now. It's working.
They could hide his shortcomings in a tag team match or a 6-man match. Alpha Academy and Danhausen versus whoever.
Yeah, that's a good
versus
point.
The New Day.
Yeah.
I just don't think they have a desire to put him in the ring at all right now. They're not even meant. They're not even hinting. Things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, he's acting like he wants to be a part of things, and they're like, "Nah, we're good." Like, yeah. I mean, all I've seen him do really in front of the crowd the last couple of weeks has been the T-shirt stuff too. Like, he's not even like coming out and cutting promos on TV. So, I mean, and the other thing, which, I've said this a lot of times about wrestling segments. I forget what the last one was that people were like, "Oh my God, this is terrible." Oh, when when Bray Wyatt was coming back and there was all that stuff about it and people were complaining or whatever. I'm like, it's like taking up 2 to 5 minutes of your time. Like, that's not the end of the world. Like, if you don't like Danhausen on Raw, but if you go pee, you know what I mean? Like whatever. It's one of those things where it's not as big as people make it sometimes with that kind of stuff. But this actually happened. They put up the graphic. I always kind of look at it where the match isn't really official until you see the WWE official match graphic, because they don't usually, try to renege on those. So, hell yeah.
Look at Femi's face. He looks like he's 50 years old.
He does. Well, did you ever watch The Wire? Like Idris Elba, that actor? He looks the same now as he did on that show was on in like 2002. There's some people, man, that just Elba's he's going to look like this for the next 20 years and just murdering people.
Right.
But we get to the main event segment, obviously, Punk and Roman. I liked Roman so much more in this one, where he was just like, you know, checking his watch and just kind of being a jerk and like looking at the camera. Then it, you know, the last couple, like Punk's always been good, but the last couple from Roman didn't give me as much gusto as this one did. What do you guys think?
I think when it got to the very end, when Roman was trying to leave and Punk was blocking him, that's when it ramped up for me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's definitely what I just meant. Like, Roman's demeanor just wasn't really, I don't know, just wasn't clicking for me. But on Monday it did, just because of how he didn't give a fuck. And then he was ready. He was basically baiting Punk to deck him in the face. Yeah. But then you got like this amazing shot where he's on the ground, like, whatever, dude, I'll be all right. That's what you got. And I thought this shot.
I got to him. Finally, I got to him. Made him hit me.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, but that was the main event segment. It was fun. I'm obviously looking forward to that match so very much. Any other thoughts or things of Raw that you guys wanted to talk about?
Who's the heel? Who's the face here?
Nobody.
There's nobody.
This is up to you. That's up to you. For me, Roman's the heel as of right now. You know what I mean? Which that's what it is for. That's, you know what I mean? So I think, and I think that's fine for one. Now that they've turned Randy, I think it's fine. If both matches were that way, I think we'd be in trouble. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I'm okay with it being where you can kind of pick and choose for this one because it's this, because the other one now we have a clear heel. We have Randy Orton talking to somebody and beating up his best friends. So
are we going to cover who was Randy talking to?
Yeah, no,
we'll get SmackDown after we hit Regina's next thing.
That's exactly it. I'm like, that was Raw, and now we're gonna get into the super chats there. Oh yeah, all right. Give me 1 second. Woo! Yeah. I try to do a sound effect for $5 or more. That's my goal. That's just another one. Danhausen wrestles a cursed Gargano. I think he did. Wasn't Candace trying to uncurse him or whatever with it, but or make it like a reverse curse, but that again, that's the size range we're talking about. You know, like sure, Fraxium that would work, but not against anybody bigger. Like sometimes like you could see Nathan Frazier going up against, you know, somebody on the bigger stage, like Aleister Black or Damian Priest or something, but you couldn't see Danhausen going above Nathan Frazier. You know, that's kind of where I'm at with it. For at least for wrestling, you want to be doing outside the ring. I'm great with outside the ring. I was also great with the hot start on SmackDown where you're just like going back at these two guys, man. You know, obviously it was already a pretty heated feud, but I mean, Drew can just really work with anyone and do anything. And this was just fun where they were just beating the snot out of each other. And
from this point on, I learned one valuable lesson.
Yeah.
I'll never, ever hire WWE security.
Yeah, fair. That is a fair answer, my friend. Yeah, because Drew comes out and they had this shot. No. Fuck you guys. That's the best. I didn't expect to just come running back then. I kind of had a feeling he was gonna do something or come back and stuff, but he just like it was just this shot. I'm like, no, we're not doing this today. Fuck you. Like, it was so much fun. Like, people would sometimes talk about how, like, you know, they want that old school feel. This felt like an old school wrestling show start to me. Like, okay, we're hot and ready. We're locked in. We're gonna go. So I enjoyed it very much with them just beating the crap out of each other. And yeah, I don't know.
This is before they went in the back and fell off the truck, right?
That's the very end of the show. That's the last shot of the show. Yep, that was the last. No, but there was a point in the middle of the show where they were fighting somewhere else. They were just
the security standing there with their hands out going,
I
don't know what they can do either. I really don't know how you.
Right.
I don't know.
No, you could, and I get it, and that's one of those things. It's a weird conundrum because you don't like it, and there's clear reasons for it. But right, what do they do to make it better? Like, how do you improve that in that sense? Like, you can't. There's, because
the only time it's worked is when they had actual cops.
Yeah.
But you can't do that everywhere you go, and
exactly. Right. You can't do that every single time. It's just, yeah, I don't, because if they start, physically interacting, you're going to like either make the wrestlers look bad or the cop look, I don't know. Like, do you have a solution, Bottles, to fixing the, I mean, not AEW. We're not worried about their security teams. Those are even
No,
worse.
they're both the same. The security does nothing for either, so it doesn't really make. I mean,
AEW security teams more feckless than WWE's.
Yeah, and that's it. It's who took the bigger shit is the context. I get that, but I understand we're talking that, but I was just we're talking about WWE here, so I just don't. Because I agree with George all the time. We talk about it with like ref when these things happen, or like with ref bumps. I'm like, there's a certain point where it's fine, but you got to have another ref ready pretty quickly, But with the security people, yeah, if you're at a WWE show and you have security on your back, just everybody's running past you. You're not cutting anything. You're not doing a damn thing right. Everybody, right? Yeah, no, that's yeah. It's also like Drew here. I've made a terrible mistake. Oh, nice. Ryan, JJ Gosling here has got another super chat. So we will put that up here before we move on to the next segment of SmackDown. Oba is aging wise a heavyweight R-Truth. # black don't crack. I mean, that's not true. That's definitely
new champion R-Truth, by the way.
Yes.
Which actually was the first actual match and was what started the next segment was that match, which, I mean, this was fine. It was fun. And the Wyatts came out. Obviously, it's going to be, I think they might do their own version of like a stadium stampede for WrestleMania with these guys if they have to like get a stage built or anything. If anybody has like a cage match or something with it, because like the Wyatts they got involved with them with it. And so the Wyatts and the MFTs are still feuding, but now the belts are on Truth and Priest, which I had there was no way I would have thought this was going to happen, that the titles would have changed there. If you'd had me bet money on Friday, I was pretty surprised by the title change.
So what do you propose? What are you looking for?
No, what I was saying is, no, I'm not looking for it. I'm just saying I feel like the Wyatts and MFTs will have some sort of like faction fight at WrestleMania. Yeah, I was saying they'll have and that would be like WWE's version of Stadium Stampede.
We wanted Priest to turn heel and be evil, and now he's with the comic.
And now with the belts, that's completely ruined that through Mania. Like clearly he's a babyface at Mania, and he'll be in the tag match. Like even because whether they'll be defending or either they'll lose them and their rematch will be at Mania. So yeah, no, we've been calling for Priest to turn for a long time, and I think we got a lot longer to wait, my friend.
Well, if you want to turn somebody heel easily, have them turn on R-Truth.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's the way to do it. That will shotgun a guy into heelness.
That is true.
Away. Yeah.
And if they're either defending the titles or challenging for the titles at Mania and lose because of Truth, that has to be what they do. But because there is a lot of good in Damian. I know people that are definitely big fans of him. It's just that he's been stagnant for so long. He needs a change of character. He needs a change of gear. He needs to be. I was even saying like he could be more of a badass, like biker style babyface if they want to initially, but they got to just fully revamp that. Just revamp the whole thing. Like maybe. Like they don't retain a Mania, and that the Raw after Mania, he just like murks R-Truth and then goes away for 2 months, 3 months, learns a new hold, as they say, and comes back a heel, meaner, bigger than ever. Look at Raw. Yeah, I don't know, but there needs to be something there because it's just for so many people, it's not clicking.
So if you have super chatted tonight, you are entered into the contest.
Nice.
The contest will be going, I think, until the first of next month. We'll do it. Whenever you send a super chat, you're entered in. If you don't want to send a super chat, you can simply go into the comment section after our show and type in the word contest. Wait for me to like it, and you are in. Up to 5 entries per person.
Perfect. Yeah. That was a good time. Hey, it's also a good time to plug our shows, but do you want to plug yours as well, Johnny? I like to do multiple, like, I don't want to save them till the end. Cause like people tell you wrapping up and so they leave and it's like, no. So plug yourself, please.
Square Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. Dr. Don Wayne and I do it every Thursday, 7 p.m. on the YouTube. and we're generally about an hour and 15 minutes long, maybe an hour and 20. We go over all the shows like these guys are doing right now. We do Dynamite. We do all the news, sundry news tidbits that are out there. It's a regular wrestling podcast. We're not reinventing the wheel here.
Right? Yeah, I think it's at SC Maniacs. That's what I tagged you guys in the description with it because definitely.
Yes,
you guys were a big help when we were getting started, and so and one of the reasons why like our Thursday show goes at 9:30 Eastern to make sure you get yours in, you guys have your stuff, and then we do ours because there's a lot of crossover. Like when at the beginning when Dee commented, she was like, "Nice, I listened to both shows. This is perfect." Like it's. I mean, I was never a big comic book reader because I didn't learn I had dyslexia until I was in my 20s. But I know there was a lot of crossovers, that stuff that people loved a lot of times. So I feel like that's kind of what we're trying to do here. And then for us, we do a live show every Sunday, obviously, with folks listening in. If you joined late, we start at 8:05 p.m. Eastern, and that's True Roundtable, where we can review stuff and also go on our tangents and talk about whatever news. Super chats can definitely drive the conversation for sure. And then Thursdays is our sacrifice to you. We watch every single moment of Dynamite so you don't have to, and give you a full review every Thursday. So that when a sicko comes after you, be like, you don't watch. It's like, oh no, I got facts. I know what happened on the show. Because they always just assume that you hate it and don't watch. And if you watch, you will hate it. So we do it for you. We've made it fun. It is torture for 2 hours and 15 minutes every Wednesday, but I live 3 blocks from a dispensary, and we're doing it for an audience, and it's fun. So I love it. And then I'm also a member of Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at youtube.com/@ToonWrestling at 8 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Aka Dis, AEW Disciplinary Committee, and Awful Wrestling. Sometimes we'll have a guest as well. We talk about whatever. Our goal now is to find as much lolcow as we can in the wrestling world. That's where if you ever want to hear me rant or make fun of Dave, that's where I do it. Every Dave video that goes up or whatever, we cover all those and laugh at him. So if you ever wanted to hear my opinions on a good old melty head, it's over there at Toon Wrestling. But I'm happy for Priest and Truth. They're going to be on Mania, so good for them. And then again, Trick Williams just outshine. I mean, sure, Sammy, you're great, but I mean, you're no Trick Willie, my friend. You're no Trick. I just think that, that I think I think this will be a Mania match too, and it may be like the quote unquote double turn because technically, Trick's still a heel, but he's not really. The fans cheer him. And Sammy, we're all done with this Sammy sad sack, and so he's got to turn heel, and that would make
something. Yeah.
Right. And so have him have a Mania match where you do a double turn somehow with it or whatever. I mean, because Trick's already the only reason he's not over is because he talks crap to baby faces. It's one of those things. Like take this character, have it talking shit to heels, you're fine. It's great. It's gold. So I think that's gonna happen on Mania, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Any thoughts on anything? If you guys, chime in if you do. I just try to get through the shows as best we can, so when I clip it, I can clip the whole SmackDown part. This match, Motor City Machine, Danhausen can wrestle these guys. You know what I mean, size wise, but I don't think in ring wise with them. I've only seen one Danhausen match, and it was like the Jericho Cruise one where there was a Jericho Hausen, and it was awful. But I don't blame him. I blame Jericho Hausen. But it is what it is. But
I breezed through this. I wasn't even looking. I was waiting to get to the meat of the matter.
Yeah, no, I was. It was one of the things where because obviously I didn't watch everything live all week, so I was trying to catch up on everything as I was coming back too. So I was kind of like this one and the women's tag one. I kind of just fast forwarded to the end, so I knew what happened storyline wise with it, and cool. But then we're starting to get to Randy here now, where he was in his chair talking crap about.
This is funny. This is where when I got home from work, I kind of fell asleep during that prior match.
Yeah,
I woke up from a nap. I woke up, and this is where I popped up right here.
Yeah, and this was great where Randy's talking about his legacy and this is for all of us who were there, this is what 2009, 10 Orton, where he'd gotten past the legend killer, where he no longer was killing legends. He was in the title picture and being the Viper. And, I know everyone liked cheering for him, but this is our Randy Orton. This is who Randy is. It's kind of like when they tried to turn Cena baby or heel. It was like, no, Cena's our baby face.
They cheered Randy through this whole
No,
thing.
they did. And I think that's a respect thing, and that'll still kind of be, but he's a heel, at least he's still that. I would probably be happy if I was live in the audience and Randy Orton was cutting a heel promo. I'd be like, in 2026, all right, yeah, this is awesome. But
can you imagine at WrestleMania them booing Cody Rhodes and cheering Randy Orton?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, because the Mania crowd's always kind of nuts with it, where that we're trying to take over. But and I firmly believe Randy's going to win at Mania. That makes the most sense to me. Mm-hmm. And so he'll be the heel, but getting heavily cheered. Whether that ends Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure, but I think we've got both of them. I don't think any of the women's matches are going to sneak into the main event spot this year.
No,
right. And then they went to the back after the commercial break, and Randy Orton, what do you call him? A Mark Stooge, indie Mark Stooge. That's what it was. I think that was a good line, and also a little close to home there, Randy. A little close to home there. But it was fun. And then for Sammy's match, Trick was stealing the show and threw the drink on him. That was cool. I again, like, what I love about Trick is he holds his own no matter who he's working with. Honestly, like, he held his own in a promo with Cody, and he held his own with Randy. So it's like, of course he's gonna hold his own with. I feel bad saying it, but of course he's gonna hold his own with Sammy.
He's got to work with everybody. I mean, it's the way it is.
No, for sure. Yeah, and honestly, Sammy, like, for all the crap I give, like, I like Sammy overall, and he is a good wrestler, and he would be somebody I could see kind of slowly transitioning into a coaching, teaching kind of role and being that kind of veteran on the roster. And that's how Trick got so good. He wrestled anybody he could that had more experience than him. He was wrestling on him in NXT and came out to shine. But yeah, he distracted him, and Sammy got kicked in the face and lost. So it just seems like they're slowly, but not slowly, turning Sammy. Like, it's been slowly, but it'll either be before Mania or it'll be the Mania match that turns them both each the other direction, I think. But hey, that's just me. What do I know?
We'll see what they got planned.
Yeah,
this is the time they're starting to move things forward. So
yeah, exactly.
This point. You gotta be paying attention now.
Yeah, no, for sure, because you had even Cardona like trying to get a match with Randy or whatever, and not being able to, and that's still moving storylines, and you kind of knew there was going to be some more with Randy and Cardona before the show was over. And you had Jade and Rhea, and now Jade has baddies, which we've got to take a shout out to our boy Anthony J, who's usually in the replay crew. He's been calling this for
choice.
He has been calling this for months, like, for the Jade needs baddies. She needs to be leader with it, and he called it specifically as those two. He's like, that feud's gonna end with them joining Jade. So I had to shout out Anthony J, because 100%, like, yeah, he batted 1,000 on that one. He knocked it right out the park. So I at least just had to put that over because they swarmed her, and then you got the Jaded. I mean, at least they're heating this storyline up, because this is kind of like the Tiffany and Charlotte of last year, where, they're both names and they can wrestle, but why? Where's the why is, what I'm always looking for.
Johnny, you're awfully quiet over there. Are we okay?
Yeah, I was
just
positive.
digesting all this. I couldn't believe B-Fab and Michin are aligned with Jade Cargill now, and B-Fab, Michin, I don't understand any of this. Why they would throw their hat in with
that's why I said
Jade
interesting
Cargill.
Choice.
Yes.
Can't beat him, join him situation, maybe? I don't know.
Then I heard another rumor that at the end of this match at Mania, Bianca Belair is going to come back with Io Sky and neutralize B-Fab and Michin so that Rhea can win the belt. That's what I heard.
Interesting.
I know she's got a broken finger, but she could still throw a right hand.
Right. Yeah. No, you can definitely work around the broken finger for sure. Like,
right.
That just, I hadn't heard that, but that would make sense. I mean, we've been feeling bad for Bianca for a long time because she's been out forever, but I mean, It makes sense when you say it. I don't have any issues with it. You know, that would work for me. Because even if she's, you know, if the surgery took this time or whatever, there's not going to be enough time to be on Mania. And then we had this was funny in the sense that Miz is like, my family vacation to Hawaii was canceled. Like, I forget all of what it was, but like Miz had a bad week. Miz had a rough week there. But obviously this is leading. I mean, maybe Danhausen teams the Jelly Roll. I doubt it. It's going to be Jelly Roll and someone versus Kit Wilson.
Could be what's going to happen. I think you just called it.
Did I? Oh shit! Did I actually say the wrong thing?
I think you got it right there. You
I mean,
nail right on the head.
It's what it's setting up here, right? Like when you saw, if you watched the show, it's like that's what I feel like. It seemed obvious, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago when the Kit Wilson stuff started and he was trying to team with Miz, like obviously it was going to be those two versus Jelly Roll and someone, which makes perfect sense. I mean, Kit Wilson's a pretty good wrestler, but I mean, every time there's a celebrity that's going to wrestle early on in their wrestling, put him with Miz. Miz is the best, whether it was Logan Paul or Snoop Dogg when they had to fill in for Shane getting snipered in the quad. And you know, Bad Bunny even started with, you know what I mean? Like in Logan Paul, it's all like Miz is doing that for a reason. Like they put Miz in that spot for a reason. So I could see that working, and maybe. See, they don't do a pre-show match anymore, do they? They should do for Mania. They should, because it's a big stadium. People do get in there early, and you can still pretend it was a WrestleMania moment, even if it's the WrestleMania pre-show, right? Right?
Yeah, they haven't done it in quite some time.
Forever. No. And they're not going to go back to it. I was just saying it in the sense of like that's a way to get people on the quote unquote Mania card, but not really give a shit. You know, I don't know. Yeah, no, Regina. I think Regina's right. Jellyhausen? I think I might have nailed it. I didn't mean to. Oh, that's what it was. That was the other one I had heard. Old head got it. I'd heard people saying that. Yeah, and I could see that too. And then Danhausen getting involved and cursing the other team's people or whatever. What were you going to say? Sorry.
You'd actually have to put Royce Keys on network TV.
Right, that's
build
true.
This up, I can't understand why they haven't had this guy on network.
Yeah, that's why he didn't come to. I know they were like working. I know his like NXT is just going to be being on the road and doing main event matches, which is fine. I get that, but there's a part of me that's like kind of similar. Like, if you weren't going to just do NXT and put him on TV down there, you know, like how long is this process going to be before he goes on screen here? That's
George Captor, who was on the phone with Randy Orton. I'm waiting.
I gotta wait for the segment to come.
We're getting there. We're getting there, because then there was the U.S. title match.
You're not gonna be like shocked or disappointed. You'll be very disappointed when I give you the answer.
Yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming, because then you had the Jelly Roll segment with Kit where he talked about his mom, and that was funny, and obviously setting up the match because Kit attacked him with it clearly, but. And then they had this spot in the back with Jelly Roll and Randy Orton where they were kind of pushing for it. And then Randy Orton was on the phone.
Yeah, so they've done a job of telling like every person that don't listen to the voices in your head. He's talking to himself on the phone.
That's what Anthony thinks.
There's no one on the other line. It's himself.
That would make the most sense
to himself.
Yeah, no, that would make the most sense. That's what was it? Anthony said he thought the same thing. I was thinking it was going to be. I'm just telling there was other people that's you're not alone.
You were asking for my
on
the air, and Johnny was waiting for it, and that's what he got. Not
and
that's shattering news in any way, but they've been going out of their way. Like Jelly Roll said it a couple of times. Don't listen to the voices in your head, Randy.
Right. No, you're definitely right. Yeah. And like he even sat down and just quoted his song for a few. Like, no, you're absolutely right. And I could see that. Like that would make a lot of sense. The only person I ever thought it could be, if it was going to be a person, was Kevin Owens. That was the only one that I thought it could be there. And then you had the women's tag title match that got, disqualification with it, because obviously that's not good. The Bellas aren't winning those titles until Mania, but they're probably winning those titles. And then you had the segment here with Randy and Matt Cardona, and I will be back in 2 moments. I gotta use the restroom.
Yeah, this was interesting, Johnny. Do you like the end? Do you like this little thing here between Matt Cardona? Looks like an idiot. for accepting the apology, because we all, I mean, come on.
Exactly. I mean, they've got to do something with the Cardona. And
I know,
he's happy. He's
Yeah,
brought back
true.
now. He's making more money than he was probably in the Indies. He's riding around with his wife,
Mm-hmm.
traveling everywhere with her now, and he'll do whatever they tell him to do.
Yeah. But it does make you look kind of silly.
It does,
yeah.
but it's pro wrestling.
This was
Wrestling's got
when
a lot of
the,
silliness. It's got a
this
big
was
silly
when the-
component to it.
This was when the WWE security came back out again, and just amazed watching these guys operate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It was something to see. I will say that.
I would rule out Dwayne Johnson and Cowboy Bob Orton as the person on the phone.
Yeah, there's no one there.
I don't think you think it's no one there. I don't think it's Owens. I don't know if Flair's still under contract to AEW or not.
I believe
But
yes.
Who would put
you'd
Flair
have to
on a
think.
WrestleMania?
You'd have to think. Yeah, you'd have to think who would be available for it. Who can actually, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, like maybe like I could see it being his dad. You know what I mean? I could see that one, but not to help him. Like only that he was telling him to do it. Like just he was like, pushing him along, coaching him.
That's what I originally thought. I talked myself out of it.
Yeah, what I meant by the only person being Kevin Owens, I mean like the only person that would like get physically involved. Like any of the other ones, I mean, I guess maybe if it was The Rock, he would, because he would physically involve himself, but I don't. The voices in the head is kind of what I always thought too, but it's
Vince McMahon.
I've seen people say that, and it's like, I mean, why? What would that do? He doesn't have power. That's why Rock would make sense, because he's got the power, and Rock hates Cody and all that kind of stuff. That would make sense, but
who's got a history with Orton though?
That's where I was just
evolution with
read
Orton.
my mind.
Batista, Flair.
Yeah, Triple
Can't
H.
be Triple
I mean,
H.
Yeah, because he like it was good seeing you last week. Like he sees Triple H all the time. I mean, I guess it could have been Triple H, but I don't think Triple H wants to be involved in any story. I think he's too busy to be involved in any storylines. Honestly, it seems like that guy's always all over the place. No, KO is the only one if there was going to be a physical involvement. That's for that part for me on it. But because if it's Flair or his dad, even if Flair has been sober the last 90 days and it's great, he can't get that physical. His dad can't get physical. So I don't think the voices in the head, maybe Rock I could see, but that's about it. And we don't know about Kevin Owens, but we do know about Super Chats.
Give me a hell yeah.
Thank you, Regina. I think it's Natty. We got a heart connection brewing. Honestly, the Psycho voices sounds better, but I love it being Natty with how she's acting. I mean, with how Natty is acting with this character and stuff, like she could easily be like what Chyna was to Triple H when she came in and just being somebody's heavy and kicking the crap out of people. But I'm on the voices at this point, and it's being split personality until further notice, I guess. My glass thinks it's Batista. See, this is why it's fun. This is why it's fun. Okay, so Challenger John, that's the joke that I make, that DiBiase Jr. just got, because literally like maybe the next day after where DiBiase got clear, he was talking on the to the TV news reporters that he got cleared. I'm like, oh, that's who Randy was on the phone with, but obviously
Cody's tag team partner.
I was at the Legacy Triple Threat. That was WrestleMania 26, the only WrestleMania I've been to, and one of the matches was all three of Legacy in a triple threat match, and Randy won that. And that was, I believe, Cody's first WrestleMania match, as far as I understand.
I have a question. If they actually brought DiBiase Jr. back, would anybody know who the hell he was? Or is?
Probably not, because they haven't, right? No, I mean, when was the last time
they've kind of erased the record for him. They've kind of just pushed him off with his, I haven't said.
Yeah, it's got to be a big name. It's got to be a big name involved.
Right.
Nobody. It's going to be nobody.
Right. Exactly. You either needed to have it be something big and like a big name, or the voices in his head, which makes the most, especially when he sat down and was like, I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. Like that's the exact lyrics of the song.
Hang on a second. What if it was Paul Heyman?
Okay, I'm intrigued. Why? Like what's the angle there?
I'm
intrigued. Okay.
I'm just throwing names out there. What if it was Paul Heyman?
No, that's fine. I respect that. No, I thought you might have had a little story brewing or something that you were thinking of.
The Vision, their numbers are depleted. So
No.
what would happen if it was Heyman and Randy Orton joined the Vision?
I mean, and the Vision does need leadership because I mean, I hope not for Randy's sake, because I don't think Danhausen curses you. I think being the leader of the Vision curses you. they Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, like whoever's music they were playing when they all walked out together got hurt. So, but realistically, I mean, that would make sense. I mean, I still wouldn't understand why it's not just Brock who would do that, but maybe Brock just wants to be Brock and Heyman's got two things going. I could see that. No, I mean, I could see it. What's cool about this thing is I could see it being a lot of different angles, which I think is personally the best part. That's always my favorite part of when wrestling, when there's something intriguing and we don't actually know who it is. You know, like the Austin Theory thing. Like we thought it was Austin Theory when he was under the mask. You know, like Seth, we knew it wasn't Seth initially, but it was always going to end with Seth. I wanted it to be Logan Paul so he could, you know, take Heyman and try to start his own empire. I thought that would have been cool. The way they did it was fine. It was fun. I feel like this is going to end with the voices in the head too. Yeah, I think I'm sold on that, George.
Well, we'll see. Next up was
no, and then literally the show cuts out to these
was okay.
These two goofs just beating the shit out of each other still. I love
with security watching them. No.
And they even ran out. There was like a shot of all of them running out. Like, oh no, what's going on? Stop it. Think about this. Think about that. Think about that. Nope. They just I love that he pulled him too. Like the way Drew's like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me, son. Come here, laddie. Like that was, I love that. Like this. And we said it earlier when, you know, when Drew lost the title and what was he gonna do? You know, I said like I could easily see him weaseling it in and making a triple threat for the title, but I'd rather see him take on Jacob Fatu in some sort of grudge match, some sort of hell. I don't think it'd be Hell in the Cell would be needed, but some sort of something where they'll just beat the snot.
That's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get what we wanted,
right? So I'm not upset about it. You know, when I actually get something that I want or like in wrestling, I'm not going to find a reason to bitch about it like the IWC. You know, like hate to be that guy, but that's, you know, that's all they do. Like, oh, because I mean, people wanted Randy and Cody for what, 3 years, and then Cody turns on Randy, and we're getting Cody versus Randy. It'd be like, why'd they do it that way? Shouldn't have been Cody that turned. Shut up. I don't know if you guys follow like Big Ben Bishop and his Tribal Keith character that he does on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. The Big Ben, well, you know who Big Ben Bishop is, right? The indie wrestler.
Yeah, not on Twitter.
He's very funny. Like his
videos.
Good
goalie. He was a good goalie too.
No, he wasn't.
I know, dude. I know.
Well, no, that was the problem. Is that so many people thought it was. Like, first off, he's 6'10". You're not putting somebody that size on the ice, and clearly he played basketball. Actually, one of my friends went to the same high school as Bishop, but like my friend graduated the year before Bishop joined, but he knew him because he was the best basketball player on the team at that high school for 4 years. So, but yeah, just, I mean, the IWC is always looking to that they have no patience and they're always looking to complain. And I hate that about them.
On that happy note, Johnny, you've been with us for an hour and 33 minutes. I know it's a lot longer than I told you we'd go, but I appreciate you sticking around.
Oh, our bad.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
As long as you had fun, that's what we go for.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, make sure everybody go to youtube.com/scmaniacs to follow.
Johnny, give us a last plug before you leave.
Yeah.
Help us out. Plug your channel.
Square Circle Maniacs every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on the YouTube. And I believe we just dumped a whole bunch of shorts right in your face, right in your laps.
Yeah, they were coming out as we were talking. Yes.
Is that what's on my floor? Son of a...
My shorts.
Yeah.
And pick up Don's, too. It looks like a sunrise in the back.
Okay, so I had... I've been holding something in. I'm holding to the very end.
Here we go.
It's a joke. It's a joke, okay, folks?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you gotta think. If you know your history, you'll get my joke. So the real reason Jake was gone And I'll tell you an example of how it works out, why Jake was gone. If Jake has to go to a court of law and testify, he would have to say that AltJake has a 10-inch penis and Jake has a 7-inch penis.
And if you get the joke, you get the joke. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like most of our audience gets the joke with it and understands. But on that note, I think we can probably wrap it up here. This was fun. Yeah. Johnny, this is how I know it's a good show when I didn't ever look at the clock. I did not realize we'd gone that long. When I'm
How
having
long do you
fun.
usually go?
We usually go an hour and a half. But we also usually do a recorded podcast to do all the Raw and the Raw and NXT reviews. But I was out of work.
This was my fault. I was working late.
Well, no, I was gonna say I have a job, and George is basically doing the work for two people for another month until his company moves into building. So we're working stuff out. Maybe we'll record in shifts. I don't know, but we're right. So this went a little longer, but I kind of knew it would because we had stuff to talk about. They're on the road to WrestleMania. There's stuff in every. It's not like Raw. It's not like there's going to be a throwaway Raw or SmackDown through Mania. Like they don't have Brock's on every Raw till Mania from now on. Roman's on, I think, all but one. And so we're ramping the fuck up, y'all. And I'm excited about it. And we will cover all of it here at the AltJake Takes On YouTube channel. We do a live show on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, where we cover strictly AEW and Dynamite, unless something like major happens, obviously. And then every Sunday back here at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the AltJake Takes On YouTube channel. And go out, check me out on Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/@TuneWrestling. But on that note, we will see you all on Tuesday or Thursday, depending on
Thanks,
which
Johnny.
one. Thank you so much, Johnny. Have a good one
now.
Peace.
Bye.
Thanks for watching AltJake and George live on Spaces. Tune in on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for AEW Live Review with AltJake and George.